Austin, are you an aspiring entrepreneur looking to start a business in the land of opportunity? Have you considered the United States as your next destination? With a diverse and skilled workforce, a culture of innovation, and a supportive business environment, the United States is a great place to start and grow your business. In this video, we'll show you how to start a business in the United States, from registering your company to finding the right resources and support to make your venture a success. So if you're ready to join the millions of successful entrepreneurs in the United States, join us as we explore the steps to starting a business in this amazing country. I'm thrilled to hear that you're considering starting a business abroad. It's an exciting opportunity to explore new cultures and markets, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. As someone who has been through this journey, I can offer you some tips to make the process smoother and more successful. My first advice is to be patient and take your time in exploring the local market. While it may be tempting to jump right into things, take some time to immerse yourself in the local culture and get to know the market. This means learning the language, networking with locals, and studying the local customs and business practices. Building strong relationships with local partners and suppliers is crucial to your success, and it takes time and effort to establish trust. Secondly, I recommend keeping an open mind and being willing to adapt your business plan to fit the local market. What works in your home country may not necessarily work in a different cultural context. It's important to be flexible and willing to pivot your strategy as needed to cater to the needs and preferences of the local market. The process of initiating a business in a different country brings forth its own set of unique challenges, which are exclusive to that particular nation. These challenges may include managing cultural differences, complying with regulatory norms, and handling other associated complexities that may arise. In the current economic environment, it is critical for companies to establish a global presence in the market by starting businesses in foreign countries. This may be motivated by various factors, such as accessing a thriving local market, leveraging a skilled workforce, or simplifying import-export operations by establishing a physical presence in the target location. However, regardless of the reason behind this expansion, it is essential to consider several factors when opening a business in a foreign country. To provide actionable advice, we have gathered insights from employers who have undergone similar experiences and distilled their observations into some key takeaways. Know the local laws. Whatever the country you expand to, it's essential to know the local laws because the consequences can be dire if you run afoul of compliance. It's more than just signing contracts. David Jackson, CEO of software development agency and workable customer Fullstack Labs in Sacramento, California, took note of some of the legal requirements during his introduction to business, as done in Colombia. They have a lot of unique rules that you would never think about in the United States. For all new employees on their first day of work, you have to send them to the doctor and get a physical, he says, noting that this dates back to times when Colombia-based workers were primarily in labor-intensive jobs that required medical clearance. Even finding an accountant was difficult due to local legal requirements in Colombia. There's only one or two accounting systems you're allowed to use in Colombia, and they have to be approved by the government. Because of that, this one company has a monopoly, so it's really expensive to buy the accounting software. And the software is really old and outdated, and then I don't know how to use it. It makes it difficult for reporting. David notes that this continues to be a challenge. You can't just sign up for QuickBooks like you would in the United States. Everything is regulated. Christina at Artemis Canada emphasizes that while at-will employment can be a standard in many U.S. states, it's actually illegal in Canada. She adds, "We also have different norms for vacation and benefits, which is important in the competitive market for technical talent. Law is a minefield, no matter where you go. Of particular relevance is the right to disconnect. In other words, the right to not deal with work-related emails and other communications outside of normal work hours." France's precedent-setting El Khomri law, adopted in August 2016, offers employees and employers the opportunity to set expectations in regards to off-duty communications prior to tenure, with many other countries and U.S. states considering similar legislation. This especially becomes pertinent when a company goes international, with employees working across different time zones. Beyond legislation, it bears noting that some countries are accustomed to long work hours, whereas others are more inclined to clock out entirely at the end of the day, which could lead to miscommunications and misaligned expectations within remote teams. So it's best to implement a standard expectation across the entire company when it comes to communications outside of normal work hours, regardless of location. The emergence of a need or a problem often triggers the creation of new solutions or ideas as people strive to address and overcome the challenge at hand. The integration of technology in our work has opened up opportunities for us to work on an international scale as organizations, and with the global expansion of companies, there is a continued advancement in existing technology. For instance, Slack has made it possible for remote workers to communicate quickly and efficiently. Google Hangouts and Microsoft's Zoom enable colleagues to interact face-to-face and share presentations across different offices. The global presence of Workable has also contributed to the development of an effective international hiring strategy. In appreciation of Workable's recruitment solution, David from Full Stack Labs commends the platform, stating that one of the things that's really nice about Workable is we manage all of our Colombia job postings in the same way we do in the United States. So we go in and we create a new job. We publish it to Indeed and to LinkedIn. According to David, their job postings on LinkedIn and Indeed in Colombia have attracted a significant number of applicants, whom they have processed through the same candidate pipeline and hiring process as applicants from the United States. He goes on to mention that they were pleasantly surprised to find that Workable worked well in Colombia, and they have also utilized the platform's sourcing tool to identify potential candidates in Colombia. To their satisfaction, they found that there is a good database of candidates available through Workable's sourcing tool in Colombia. Setting up a company is not an easy task, particularly if you intend to do so abroad. Many business owners are taking advantage of the rising U.S. dollar, which is even devaluing other currencies, and moving abroad to establish their enterprises. If you are interested in starting a business overseas in a foreign country, keep watching the video. We're going to let you know the top 10 steps to start a business overseas in a foreign country. 1. Localize your concept, outlook, and goals. For any business, immersing themselves in the community culture is crucial. Find a coach or friend in your community who can assist you in learning about the customs and preferences of the people there. 2. Learn the language. Although it may seem intuitive, learning another language can occasionally seem just as difficult as beginning a business. Even subpar language abilities are preferable to none. You can develop language skills outside of lessons by using a variety of apps or by meeting up with individuals. 3. Analyze the market, both past and present perspective. Every businessman is aware of the need of studying the competition before entering a brand new market. Don't end there, though. Examine 5 businesses that made unsuccessful attempts to reach that market. People will repeat their mistakes if they don't benefit from others' mistakes in the past. 4. Create a new network. When you relocate abroad, your old network is less useful. Therefore, you'll have to create a new regional one. Utilize the fact that it is simpler to meet new individuals because there aren't many expats in a tight-knit community. 5. Recognize the environment. Even if some professionals like Darren Kaiser contend that starting a company abroad might potentially be far simpler, less hazardous, and more financially viable than establishing a company in your native country, it is far preferable to anticipate problems than to trust it will all go according to plan. 6. Determine and calculate expectations. Start your work by seeking out analogies to the kinds of markets you now serve in the U.S. or overseas. Choose locations where you can offer your goods or services without having to make significant adjustments to meet local requirements or laws. 7. Establish a budget. While there are many reasons why businesses fail, one of the most frequent causes is a lack of launch money, which typically results from the firm founder's overly optimistic revenue and profit forecasts. Even in the best of conditions, establishing a new firm may be challenging, let alone when operations are far away and the market environment is unreliable. 8. Look for a local agent. When building a real presence in a foreign state, a local agent, or perhaps an attorney or accountant with competence in international humanitarian law, can be quite helpful. You do not want to have your goods confiscated or your business shut down as a consequence of any miscommunication or communication error with the local authority representatives. 9. Learn about the international money transfer. Do some research on your choices for sending money abroad. You shouldn't often depend on your banks to transfer and receive money abroad unless you require a specific service. A lot of the time, you are hit with outrageous fees and forced to wait multiple days for the funds to pass and show up in your account. 10. Address logistics problems before opening your store. The infrastructure found in developed nations is absent in many other nations. There could be laws, levies, charges, and trade tariffs that impede the free movement of goods both inside and outside the nation, even in cases when there are no physical barriers to their movement. By following these steps, you can establish a store overseas. So consider every option and establish the shop. As an entrepreneur, you might feel limited in your own country. This could be due to cultural reasons, market saturation, or simply no demand for whatever product or idea you have in mind. So packing your bags and landing in a faraway land gives you a unique opportunity to share your leadership with another community. But how can you have an edge in a country that isn't your own? The answer is your mentality. When you go abroad, you are facing a completely different culture and way of life. But therein lies an opportunity. Local people might not see things the way you do. They might not see the solution to a particular problem simply because they didn't see the problem in the first place. But as a foreigner, you might see new paths and new ideas that resolve problems that would otherwise go unsolved. Moving abroad marks the beginning of a new journey, one that opens your mind to new markets and gives you the opportunity to become a leader in your chosen field. If you are the adventurous type and are willing to follow the advice we give you, you'll be more likely to succeed. 1. Plan ahead and be ready if things don't go according to plan. In the military, we say that no plan survives contact with the enemy. This rings true in the business world, too. Even though you might have had a plan worked out months or years in advance, the reality of being there in a different country might lay waste to your best plans. Always be prepared for a worst-case scenario. Many people don't do this, and they face great difficulties when things go wrong. 2. Have patience. We know the rules of our own country, we know the language, the culture, and the idiosyncrasies, but abroad we might not know any of these things. The culture, the language, and society's traits might be different from what we're used to. Crucially, we might not be aware of how bureaucracy works in this new environment, so we might face frustrating situations. I have one word for you: patience. Particularly at the start of your journey, a little patience will go a long way. 3. Be open-minded. Entrepreneurs tend to be dynamic, creative people. This is a great thing. When your mind is open to learning new things, you're likely to take a more positive and proactive approach to what you're doing, especially if you are doing it in a country that you're new to. There is much to learn when you go abroad, and an open mind is a great tool. 4. Surround yourself with a great team. Surround yourself with a great team of local specialists who understand the local mentality better than you. This is something I learned long ago. In business, you will not succeed alone, no matter how good you think you are. You need to team up with the right people, like-minded people, to help you set up and advance your business. A good local team is particularly important when you are starting a business abroad. Locals will know the country's culture and ideological tendencies much better than you. They can advise on what works and what doesn't work. A local team is an invaluable asset. 5. Respect the local mentality and culture and be humble. Sometimes we might believe that we know better than the locals, that we have it all figured out. If you think like this, you are likely to fail. Why? Because you don't know better than the people who have lived in that location all their lives. You will not immediately understand their mentality and cultural traits. If you go in with an air of superiority, you will fail. Instead, display humility. Let the new country teach you what you need to know, and very importantly, learn the local language as best you can. This will open up many doors for you. Be an ambassador for your own country. Even though you might be abroad, a little of your own country travels with you. Promote friendly relations in any way you can between your country and the one you're setting up your business in. This will ultimately help you succeed. 7. Believe in yourself and bring added value. This is perhaps the most important piece of advice. For a business to succeed, you have to believe it will. You have to believe that what you're creating has value and adds value to the community. Building a successful business, whether locally or abroad, tends to be about the added value, and of course it has to be profitable. No unprofitable business ever lasts. But profitability does not arise out of thin air. It needs good business acumen, some luck, and a great deal of planning. All these moving parts must sync up and spin in unison, like the wheels of a fine-tuned machine. To sum it all up, succeeding in the creation of a sustainable business in a foreign country starts with a carefully crafted plan. If executed, step by step, in the right order, your chances for that business to take off and become a success increase. Your well-organized planning, perseverance, belief, and personal effort can act as the seeds for a business to grow. May your business thrive and grow beyond your wildest dreams. Remember that with every setback comes a new opportunity for growth and learning. Good luck on your journey.